My man Stephen A. Smith is going to be inducted into the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame. That is rare air. But there was another distinction offered him this weekend by an organization that definitely matters to Stephen A. Smith. It comes from the National Association of Black Journalists, and they call it the Thumbs Down Award. Here's what they said.
Smith has established a recurring public pattern of disparaging commentary directed at prominent black women across politics, sports, and media. Such commentary reinforces harmful narratives, undermines the fair and respectful representation of black women in public discourse, and stands in direct conflict with NABJ's long-standing commitment to accurate, responsible, and inclusive portrayals of black communities.
Now, this was highly offensive to Stephen A. Smith, and I know that because he's my friend. But why is something you need to hear from him. And here he is right now. Stephen A., in characteristic fashion, when we were discussing this, I was like, I'm sorry about this. You said, no, I'm not. They want it. This is Christmas early. Why?
Because I think that, you know, the organization has some issues. I mean, clearly it's amongst their leadership. This wasn't a decision that was reached by the collective board or what have you. You have a few people as members of the board that made a decision that, as far as I'm concerned, besmirched the entire organization. The NABJ has had its issues throughout the years, and we recognize that, and it's something that we've had challenges and we fought, and the organization is supposedly in a better place. But you've got jealousy and issues of envy and things of that nature that have existed for far some time. But most importantly, the organization has had a strong political tilt. And if I was, as I said on my podcast today, I said if I had said this about a black conservative female, what would have been the issue? Nobody would have said anything. So this has been politicized, no doubt about that, because I'm an independent. I'm a registered independent. I believe in calling balls and strikes and being as fair as I possibly can. And as a result, you have people within our community that if I'm not parroting our speech, then they've got a problem with that, as if we're all one monolithic group of one monolithic thinking and we think alike. That is not the case. And so that's something that I've always maintained. That's all something I've always spoken out about. And this is the latest example of that. I think where the offense really, really hit home was why. If you gave me a thumbs down because you don't like my political views from time to time, that's no problem. That's you're entitled to that. But to sit up there and to give me a thumbs down award 5 weeks before I'm to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I'm not a member of the Hall of Fame of your organization, and to accuse me of disparaging women. Well, let's go down the list, Chris. I disparaged Jasmine Crockett because I said it wasn't wise for her to go on air and curse out the president when you're representing 766,000 constituents in Texas. I said, where's that going to get you? How's that going to work for you in Texas? Did it work for her, Chris? I don't think it did. Tellerico, last time I checked, is the Democratic nominee for the United States Senate seat out of Texas. You've got Michelle Obama that was joking around and talking about how First Take was like a reality show. My response to that is that she's the greatest first lady I've ever known. I wish she ran for president. She's a marvelous, wonderful woman. My only issue with her was when she was campaigning on behalf of Kamala Harris and said a vote for him, meaning Donald Trump, was a vote against us. I said, wait a minute. Black men have loved and revered black women forever. What do you mean that's a vote against you? I said, somebody can't vote because their priority is immigration, or the economy, or safety in the streets, or healthcare. Why does it have to be what you want it to be? When it came to Kamala Harris, I said, hey, you didn't even make it to Iowa in 2020. And in 2024, you bypassed the Democratic primary. You were gift wrapped at the Democratic nomination because of Joe Biden's performance in that June 27th debate in June of 2024.
But they're valuing something else. They're valuing something else, Stephen A. They're valuing, you know, I had Senator Ron Johnson on the other day from Wisconsin, separate but related. And I was like, hey, how come you don't care about all this Arab money going into Trump's kids' pockets? He said, look, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't let my sons take it. But look, you know, that's for you to pick out. This is a team sport. You don't investigate your own. Do you think this is an extension of that? That, you know, you are a black journalist. You are both of those things. But that in this day and age, you've got to pick a team, and your team would be black people, and you should not criticize them.
Well, first of all, black folks criticize each other all the time, amongst family, amongst friends, or whatever. That's number one. Number two, it would matter to me more, Chris, if they said that. That's not what they said. They said I disparage black women. I was raised by black women. I have 2 daughters. I have 10 nieces. I have 4 older sisters. What the hell are they talking about? There's no truth whatsoever. I own my own production company and my own YouTube channel. I employ 6 black women. I have an accountant. I have a lawyer that are black women. I have big upped and promoted and supported black women all my life because they did it for me. So when you say that I am disparaging black women, you need to back that up. And as an organization, the NABJ failed to do so. If you want to engage in politics and you want to say, we don't like the political tilt that you have to your commentary, well, that's a worthy discussion for a journalistic organization. But you're a journalistic organization that's supposed to be foundation, based on fact. And that's supposed to be your foundation, that and objectivity. And you were neither objective nor factual because they were wrong with what they were saying. They didn't have any facts, and they clearly weren't objective. And that was my point. And to give me that thumbs down 5 weeks before I'm to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and oh, by the way, a year removed from me taking a national television show like First Take for ESPN, back-to-back years in Chicago in 2024 and in Cleveland in 2025. Those years, both years, I took my show to the NABJ conference. Nobody, when have you seen a live national television show broadcasting live from a journalism convention? But that's what I did. Obviously with the help of ESPN and the bosses like Dave Roberts and Burke Magnus and Jimmy Pitaro. They enabled that to happen. What are they talking about? This is not based in fact. And that's why I know for a fact that, you've got liberals out there that's in the ear of these people that facilitated them making this kind of position. And I'm calling them out for it because it makes no sense whatsoever. There's no truth to what they're claiming. And it's highly offensive. And I want the world to know that.
Well, that's why I gave you a platform to do exactly that. Stephen A. Smith, I appreciate you. I wish it was a different discussion, but it's an important discussion for you to have right now. So we had it. And I'll talk to you again, and I'll talk to you often.